You know, I think Nongshim, I like their draft a lot, but the laning phase is really what they have to endure. If they get through lane, I think they're in a very comfortable spot, and bro, they need to just clamp down on Nongshim, not let them to function from minute one. This is the triple prio lanes the pro have gone for, and I'm just looking to see what they can make out of it.
Well, Lehens is looking for an angle here as he flashes. I'm not sure about that one. There's the Battle Dance hype already down to 200 though. As Lehens dives forward. Gee, one more auto and there it is. First blood over to Nongshim. And it is raining noodles here in this bottom lane, even though the other lanes are on fire. If there was anything that they could do.
I think
First grub going to go over to Bro though.
Yeah, I think ultimately here, if Gideon steals a grub, you're happy. If he just gets one, great. If not the end of the world. I think not fighting it is the right call, given how Fisher just hit level 6 now, and Closer has him trapped in lane, had it for a while.
And they have to sack a full lane wave for it as well.
Yeah, ultimately Bro get all three. Great for them. I mean, get the flash good, and especially if you end up in a longer...
Oh dear, there's the Cocoon, and Polo is just dead. As the auto attack, the Ignite was already ticking, and that's the second kill here for Nongshim's bottom lane as well. 77 to 72 as far as the CS is concerned, but these 2 kills on the Ezreal are the biggest deal. Not really spelling too much when it comes to advantages, as speaking of which, Kingen trying to grab one here, just going to get booped away by Morgan's hammer. There's the flash though as Gideon follows up, and that is going to be some feats of warfare here for Nongshim as they grab their 3rd kill.
Oh man, and the fact Gwen gets the kill.
Moving Geo around like a portable cannon to just destroy whatever they would like to find. Gideon going to move over here, and it looks like LM going to need to exit unless Lehens finds himself in an odd spot. He does go up into the sky, but what goes up must come down, and Itsy Bitsy Spider is well and truly crushed.
Yeah, bit of a misstep there from the side of Nongshim. It would have been enough just to kind of force LM away from the Dragon. But again, this mid prior really been a difference maker. Closer being able to move first.
Team weren't quite on the same page, and it resulted in a Dragon going over to Bro plus that answering kill. Still, these grubs gonna head over towards Nongshim. That is 3 apiece. And all right, another Glacial Prison flying out here as Polo gonna have to try and battle dance his way out. Does flash as Lehens looks for it, finds the last auto there in human form. That's gonna pick up the 4th here for Nongshim. Lehens straight back on the horse.
The targets, like, who are you really gonna be able to pick off here? Yeah, oh, this is bad.
You might be able to pick off Morgan if you're Nongshim. That's what they're going to do as the Permafrost comes in, and there was nowhere for him to go. Decides not to use the flash, and I do not blame him.
Down. It's so scary.
Lehens just seems to know exactly where to be, as Ellen is just going to fall straight into the Cocoon. So much damage from the Elise, and Lehens is able to pick up that kill with the last tick of the Ignite. Gorgeously done, and he just read him like a book. Clear out the entire wave in the meantime, whilst also having a decent trade.
I think that's honestly the thing that I'm most impressed about Nongshim in this game, because the proactive plays have been great.
As far as the amount of souls, like over 50% Cloud Soul so far for this season, that would be absolutely absurd.
Be a good start to it.
It would be beautiful. As Lehen's not going to find the Cocoon as Hype taking a lot of damage here. Gideon super tanky, but still has to Arctically Assault away. The Dragon continuing to take some damage, but does reset. And the Bro is going to move back and pick that one up one more time. Morgan, no teleport available. Kingen, he has his. If that trigger's pulled, Bro going to have to try and get themselves out of there as Fisher doesn't have ulti, but still looking for an opportunity. A cease and desist. They dive on top of Geo. The Ezreal lasts for quite a while. Both AD carries going to go down, though. And Nongshim now on the warpath. Kingen, he is somewhat immune as he's pulling that circle around, but I don't think he's going to survive for too much longer as Polo dashes out of there. The AoE damage is gigantic though, and Closer can't get in there to do it. Nongshim, they take down the jungler, the top laner, and they should be able to also get themselves a Dragon.
Geo is just a bait. So many tools committed to take out this Ezreal, and the top side of this Nongshim composition. Yes, and Lehens, well,
is a jungler, I guess.
He... He could be, you know, in another life.
Well, there's 4 people coming down here from Bro, but I just don't know whether they're going to get here in time. There's a Permafrost, and he's dead. And now the rest of the Bros will turn up saying, Morgan, you just needed to wait a couple of seconds. Same time. This game is very quickly getting out of control.
Yeah, completely. It's really falling apart for Bro. I think that Dragon fight was really the nail in the coffin, because stack it.
Yeah, you've got an attack speed steroid as well, like on your W, so
yep,
means that you can really get that Permafrost stacked up, as Morgan is going to do what he's been doing really well in this game so far, as that Cocoon was way better than all the other ones Lehens thrown out so far this game. Absolutely beautifully done. Invested in this game, right? They don't get Gwen. They don't get Gideon Sejuani. They don't get Fisher's Yone. They don't get Lehens on his Elise ever again in this series.
Yeah, you know, I have to be real. That is my favorite Fearless code.
Isn't it?
It's so good. It's so good.
I think it's barely even an argument.
You know what? It's like when you're in a game, when you're playing like, you know, you're playing a normal with the boys, and you're like 17k gold down at 12 minutes, and you're like, don't worry guys, we outscale. These fools have fallen for our trap of winning game 1 with good picks.
Lehens actually caught out this time around. He does get on top of this wall. That was very cute. Still, Closer is going to blow him up. You don't have a lot of help as this dash cannon Elise is drawn up by Lehens, and he really ran with it.
Yeah.
All the way down. Lehens is going to do it again. Kingan's going to move over, but I don't know whether he's going to be helping out. He goes up, but then he does immediately go down, and Kingan may have actually just bought into it. He goes down at the same time, and when you have an extra one paying for the sins of your support, could mean that Bro might find an angle back in. Still a bit of an uphill battle, but that is exactly the kind of moves they need to be making. Yeah,
it's good picks. It's a big shutdown. They should be able to get Dragon off this. So really nice from Bro keeping this game alive. Some fumbles from Nongshim. I think Lehens heard us talking about the barrel strategy.
And he's like, oh, you think that he died a lot of times? Hold my beer.
I can step it up.
Indeed. And he started 2, 3, 4. Still needs to get to 9, I believe, which is the number that Beryl had when he won that game. Morgan looking for an inner turret. That is going to really help even out this gold. Voracious Artican is just going to go down, though.
Yeah.
There's some extra lives now available for Nongshim, but in trade for a Hextech Dragon?
The thing is, the second Hextech Dragon, if this was the third Dragon, I think it's a lot more meaningful. But even so, we have to wonder, what will Nongshim be able to do with this Artican?
That's a really early death cap, and it looks like he's going Shadow Flame as well. Like, that is going to be so much raw damage for this Aurora. If anyone's squishy, they are just going to die. And you can see Kingan, he's pretty squishy. Glacial Prison flying in here as they're ignoring the turret. Fisher looking for Polo. They will be able to take him down. The bottom lane just eliminated as Kingan trying to keep the rest of them busy. Remember, he can just go back to base, and he is going to be able to do so there of this Artican buff.
Show you what they wanted, you know. Didn't have to get that many kills, just 2, but forced them away, finished them up. But, you know, you look at how low in HP Elim is, and Fisher.
Yeah, I think Fisher may be dead here as he looks to try and get on top of Closer. Does do a fair bit of damage before he does just get sent back home.
And so Bro don't need to face check this. You know, they know whether the Baron's being taken. And they kind of just give space, but they're looking now.
Yeah, Lehens gets into Spider form, but immediately the Glacial Prison follow-up is going to be there. Elim gets himself out. Closer misses a few buttons, and now Kingan looking for an angle. The Needlewalk flies in. He's taking a lot of turret damage, though, and he just gets blown up. I'm not sure about that one from Kingan. As Fisher tests the waters there momentarily, they get a Bramble back in trade for their top laner.
And I feel like Nongshim just over-forcing a bit in this situation. They're, like, trying to bait Bro in. Like, they need a face check Baron, they need to come and contest us, but they don't. That vision setup they had before meant that Bro were really confident of playing it slow.
But that's 2 turrets that they're going to get for this as well. As the inner does fall down at the same time. They think that they've caught Lehens, but Gideon in the area. And the Yone taking a Hex Gate over, but Gideon running the wrong direction. This is so awkward. Still, Morgan's going to fall down. Jiu going to be turning up, and Hype takes so much damage. Jiu, can you do it? He does. He flashes forward. Arcane Shift going to be up very, very soon, and that is a beautiful Q there, the Vault Breaker from Elim, just to destroy Lehens.
Oh, the TP from
They
close to
think
get out.
they've lined him up, though, as Jiu finding more and more of these Mystic Shots. Kingan teleported in. It isn't going to be able to get too much more.
I'm not sure you can get there in time, though. It's already at 5k. I think this is just gone.
Yeah. They've got so much damage. It is absolutely absurd. True Shot Barrage flying in there, and there's the knock-up. That is going to be some great defense played by you.
Channeling his inner barrel, I think is the only way we can describe that.
Yeah, or just Lehens. Lehens and Beryl, very similar in their willfulness to die.
Yep.
And that's what we have to focus on here.
Yep.
Because yesterday was such a beautiful dichotomy, right? Because you watched the first series and it was Gen G methodically just dismantling HLE. And in the second series, it was just a mess. We were 100%.
I don't think we were upset enough.
Yeah, I think that might have been closer to it. You can go and watch the POG State if you want to have a look at we did a bit of a snake draft for role-swapped players from throughout the LCK.
Yeah.
I personally think that I won, although I did mess it up as well.
I had this genius idea of putting Chovy top lane. Never before.
We all did.
Yeah.
Nongshim are going for a Baron. It is now down to below half health. Lahen's just trying to play some defense, but LM looking to try and get on in here. That knock-up not going to connect, but now Jiu offering some damage over. Oh, LM, he's not quite tanky enough, but the prison is not going to land. They're still on the Baron. It's going down, and Gideon locks that one up. Nongshim successful disengage. And that was a great little steal. They also got the Dragon prior to that, remember. He's pretty good, though.
I mean, in fairness, it does buy, you know, if they give up the top inhib, if they accept the fact that maybe we're going to lose it anyway, maybe now they'll be able to defend mid and bot. But that top inhibitor went down very quickly. Yeah. And would you believe Nongshim are now looking towards mid?
Kingen really playing some good defense on this wave as well, and so the bros not going to be able to do anything to stop that one from just crashing, and my god, that tower evaporated. There is so much damage on this spot as they do go for the engage. Ulti from Closer is good damage. Lahen's almost just straight up dead, but Closer also following suit. The needlework flying in, Hype just almost disintegrates without being able to do too much, and these Mystic shots, everyone that lands is so scary. 2 inhibs down. And, oh man, that Shock Blast actually starting to hurt.
What was it?
It's Morgan with 4 items finally.
Despite his build, it just felt like he wasn't doing any damage the targets is connected with. He accidentally hit Lahen's, it feels like, nearly one-shot him, but the bulk of the damage just seemed to not really do much to this front line of Nongshim, and now they're looking for more.
Yeah, Kingen does get engaged on his cease and desist, flies forward, Deficient just executes Hype. Morgan now down to about 100, and this Yone is doing so much work. Gio now getting rid of Polo, and it looks like these Nexus turrets are next to fall. True Shot Barrage doesn't take down the Rakan, but the Nexus is sure to fall. The Noodle Boys coming out strong here in game 1.
You're gonna see the Varus struggle. Hype's gonna have a bad time. The top lane matchup's bad. It is really about this Neferi LeBlanc duo taking over the game. Just really didn't see it too much in pro play, other than like occasional. You know, we saw Fisher play it in the mid lane, but it kind of felt like this is the sort of champion where.
Owie. Okay, we do have a Nocturne coming down towards his bottom side. Hype immediately flashing to get himself out of the way, but remember, Polu doesn't have his. He had to use his flash at level 1, and that should mean First Blood goes over to Gideon. And I do like that they give the kill to him as well, because Nocturne getting fed is an absolutely terrifying proposition, especially when he's up against this Neferi, which is so much of the power budget in the Bro Draft. And I feel like the lane control, the wave control from Nongshim has been really good so far this series, especially in the early game, just to try and get them into the best positions possible. Gideon comes on over. That should mean that only one grub will go over to Bro this time. Nongshim well and truly in the driver's seat still. Despite the fact that this mid-jungle should be so powerful for Bro, they managed to get the flash that they were supposed to. But not too much more than that, as the battle for the blue buff continues. Should be Nongshim backing away as Morgan is making his way in. That's a lot of Counter-Strike value. Is Gideon going to get headbutted over? Does have the paranoia. Puts up the shield. Looks to try and get himself out of here. But in goes LM. Oh my goodness, they do manage to take down 2. The mid-jungle just eviscerated from Nongshim's side. And Bro pushing for even more. There goes Lahen's, and that's the skirmishing power of this composition. See whether they continue to do that. As the Grubs being targeted once again. It is 2-1 already here in favor of Nongshim. This should be 3 of them going over. So 5 Grubs for Nongshim is fantastic, especially when you're denying it from the Jax LeBlanc composition.
Oh.
Ellen not going to be able to steal that one away. Yep. Does bring up the boost.
And the thing is, by showing up there, I mean, they weren't really in position to take the Dragon. Building it up.
That's only with 3 assists as well, as the kills went to exactly where they needed to go. The Grandmaster's Might coming on in here as Polu is set up. Elim also in the area. Lahen's trying to make his way around, but there's the flash out by Polv. Cannon Barrage goes down as Elim dives in, calls the Hounds. Polu does have the ulti running, so he's going to be able to keep himself alive, and the minion wave just barely in range.
So quite bulky, quite a good amount of sustain as well. You're not under that much threat from just the LeBlanc trades in that manner. So Fish is okay there. Gideon will pick up the Dragon, and it's still an objective lead for Nongshim so far this game.
Quite some time.
But it has stagnated, and you know what that makes me think?
It's time for a fight. as Lahens is walking. Then he's flashing, then he's hooking, but the chains are still going to land. The dogs are well and truly out as the cannon barrage comes down. There's the paranoia. They dive into the back line as Hype is the target, and he's eliminated. Jiu now looking for Closer, whose health bar is very low. The flash forward, and that's going to secure it. And now Nongshim just wanting to clean up. Fisher moves down. He's got the orb. The Nefiri manages to pick up one of them, but 1v2, I just don't know whether he's going to be able to win this battle. Gideon's still chasing after him. When this dog gets some of these buttons back, I think he's still going to be pretty scary, but Gideon's going to move forward. I don't know about this one.
Oh, the fear?
Yeah, the fear just going to try and be avoided. There's the shockwave. That was still available? Okay, well, never mind. That is a dead doggo on the ground.
For the bros.
Financial reinforcements for the bros.
Absolutely.
Because we know that, like, don't worry, we're scaling. Starting to become more and more real here for Nongshim.
Yeah, you know that lead that Morgan had, that substantial lead in the top lane? 100 gold now.
Yeah, Parlay pretty good at just getting accidental gold. And Kingan's also just slurping up minion wave after minion wave. This is what happens. And fast in this game.
Jiu has got 2 items. He's
oh no! Hype presented himself on the map, and he is now dead. Nongshim now looking for even more, as it is going to be the Rift Herald secured by LM. He collects the eye at the same time, but can he stay alive? That's the question. Killer Instinct from Jiu is insane, but he's still able to survive. The depth charge flying forward. Good knock up there as LM utilizing that mobility to get himself around. 2-man pulverize here from Polo as Gideon. Fantastic use of the shield. The unbreakable will is there, but unfortunately the body will still break. Jiu going to collect that one. LM goes down as well, and Nongshim. Oh no, we said the bros need to create leads, not Nongshim. Parents came to Korea during our little break that we had, and I bought my nephew a little Gromp, and the Gromp toy is adorable, and this is not so much as Closer went in, and he tries to get out, does have to use the flash, but is going to escape. And, Void Seeker actually blocked by the clone.
Like, this looks rough for Bro, but this might actually be a window, because these... Oh, Cannon Barrage.
Oh, that was a cute one.
Closer has TP. If he TPs back in, they don't have these tools. Hype can play the game.
Well, he might be able to. We'll see whether the Otacon is going to be taken before that happens, though, because there's not a lot of vision. Teleport comes in. Oh my god, the AoE is absurd! Polu dead before anything even starts, and now they've got Otacon. Chains of Corruption flies in. Morgan trying to do what he can. Fish is still alive. He eventually does get recalled, but now Jiu's going completely ballistic. He will be sent back, but Kingan...
the getaway!
Yeah, he can't actually hit him because he's inside a Rift Herald that's running the wrong direction. And Closer just chains him up. Might be a bit of damage onto this turret, but that was very cute use of the disengaged Rift Herald.
Edge of Knight, Zonya's no. Just a Rift Herald in his pocket.
That's the best way to go on. That's stasis.
A rough spot for Bro right now.
And there is a Mountain Drake that's up and available, but Nongshim look like they want to take an inhibitor turret first. There's the paranoia. They find him one more time. Hit by the combo, gorgeously executed, but can they win the ensuing fight? That's the question, as Jiu is going to be obliterated. That's the cow going down as well. Lahens from the grave manages to land an anchor, and you can see Gideon knows that there's no way out. Kingan's there, though. Look at this guy. Trial by fire just sets Closer on fire, in fact. As now Gideon looking to try and escape. That is going to be Nefiri taking him down. And now the Pirate is a little bit in the wrong place, potentially at the wrong time. Eats some oranges correctly that time, but does have to recall. And now Bro might be able to take away a dragon.
Like Kingan was just chasing targets this whole fight, but not really able to connect onto them until it was too late.
Morgan is a monster in this game, though.
But Bro are coming to try and contest this.
Yeah, a lot of vision available here as Closer dives in. Jiu almost just dead straight up. But the Baron is just taken. Level 16 now for Fisher as well. How about Pulp going to be avoided completely as Gideon dives in on top of Closer. Polo going to get a little bit scared. Jiu doesn't have flash, so he was dead. Fisher is also going to suffer the same fate because he also didn't have flash. And so keeping a few of these Barons alive is going to be Nongshim's best bet.
As Varus is, so...
Well, now it might be time to take their first turret of the game, unless Gideon decides that he wants to kill LM instead. He's pretty scary, but maybe not scary enough as LM just turns it around. Oh my god, the cannon barrage damage right on top of Hype. Closer also limping away from this one.
Like, it's not completely worth it, this trade. I mean, they still have the Baron buff, but you can see they end up going for Closer here. Easy disengage there. And things, because I feel like if people haven't really been watching the LPL,
well, Closer may not be able to do things here, as he does get the flash, does utilize his flash. So now he's going to try and go for some jukes. Let's see what's going to happen here. It looks like he might get shot with a pistol.
I've seen Civ HD pull this off.
Oh my god, that's a throwback. No, well, he didn't pull it off. He didn't pull it off. My god, Civ HD, really? The flash button. Oh,
good times. But yeah, you know, as I was saying before, I'm really glad that LM started to come back in this game because, you know, things were looking rough. It was looking like it may be a 0% win rate.
Throwing out some daggers towards Lehens, but Lehens not going to be too worried about it. And Nongshim, okay, here it is, the combo once again, this time hitting onto two. Both of the bottom lane members as Q, Killer Instinct indeed. And there goes the cow as well. Hype did that thing where he was on vision of the enemy team again.
Hype, you've got to stop existing every time. Oh, you know, I just think leaving the fountain might have been a mistake, if I'm being honest. And Nongshim, it feels personal, feels like bullying, it feels like a grudge, but they will take out the AD carry. They got Polu as well in the combo, so 2-for-1 special.
Is it just game over? That's the question. We've got both Nexus turrets, both under fire. Morgan, you're going to need to be the hero. The health bars are getting lower as in goes LM King and going to be his target, but he flashes away. He's surviving for the moment. Gideon flashes out as well. Fisher at full health, the double kill comes on through, make it a triple as LM's going nuts. Fisher finds it, the clockwork wind up, and now it's his turn to get some multi-kills. There's a triple for the Orianna, and Polu, he's going to be enough of a gatekeeper to send Nongshim back.
Because he's having a rough one right now.
And we might have another team fight as once again, Hype is dead. Oh no, never mind. He takes a little while longer to die this time. Fisher down to 50%. The hook is going to catch him out of the distortion. Gorgeous play there from Lehens once again as Geo Killer Instinct right on top of the Jax. Goes golden, avoids the counter-strike, and LM, it's only him and his top laner that are left alive. Nongshim looking for even more. A flash forward from Lehens, because why not? If the F button is available, you press it. And now Gideon and Fisher are done with this series. They're looking to take down this Nexus to start off their LCK season with a 2-0 against the Bros. There goes the Nexus. And Nongshim, brilliant start.
So yeah, I think BNK FEARX, a lot of team fighting tools. You can think of how the Wombo combo is going to come together. A lot of hold them still and you fire. But Dplus's mid-game spike is kind of absurd.
But yeah, we said that so many times. I remember I watched it back and it was really hard. Because, okay, Beryl's going to go in, save us from this conversation for the moment. Aftershock is worn off, but you can see Diable taking a lot of damage. The wraparound from the other tree, though, coming in, and Beryl is overextended. He has to flash. There's a flash forward from Kellen, though. Twisted advance, and down goes the Leona. First blood for BNK. You were talking about barbecuing the Gwen. That is continuing to happen here as a tree battle is going to ensue, but Kellen makes it unfair. The crash down, but it's after the flash from Lucid, who goes into the brush. Is still an advantage. Wow, that Valkyrie forward, and there's Snowmaker picking up the follow-up kill. I kind of thought they were going to be okay, but Showmaker said, nope, you are definitely not already there. Control Warp goes down, though. And so let's see whether Lucid's going to get the support. Steps into his brush. Can they get one of these? That's the big question. Smite going to come on through. I think that spells the exit here for BNK as Raptor moves back down. There it is. So not going to be getting any portions of feats of strength or anything like that as Kellen, Hex flashing in. Enough. As he's going to have to back away. All right, Kellen and Diable coming on down towards his bottom side. Bullet time softens up Shu somewhat, but he does have a scrap shield, so he's all right. Oh dear. Daisy getting the knock up. There's another Zenith Blade in, and aiming collects the kill. Exhaust not quite enough there. Has parceled on over towards the Grubs. And Lucid able to take a couple of those. 3 apiece likely to be the answer here, as Vikla has also sheathed over. Sheath is a weird word. I'm just looking at my thesaurus.
She has. I mean, I can understand how that could work for rap, but not really like.
Yeah, that's the best part.
For this one, if you look at their carries, the Yone and the MF, they're just sitting on components. I think this is a bad fight to take.
Yeah, these are big item spikes. And, okay, Magnustorm still brings Kellen in, but there's the equalizer. They do not want to engage on top of that one, but already the Rel has gone down. Vikla gone pretty ballistic, but he does have to go back to that unbound Salty Arbol. Going nuts. Beryl gets the shield and he interrupts the ultimate, still goes down. It's a crazy fight, but it is 4 for 2 in favor of DK.
And I think the item advantage really came in clutch there. You know, the Redemption heal that came through helped mitigate that initial engage, and then Showmaker and Aiming both kind of just free hitting on the back end of that fight.
Well, Vikla, missed that Q. That might have been enough to kill him, actually, or might have just been very, very close. And the Leandres, and so it was kind of one of the worst times to fight. The next worst time is when you have double Muir Mana and a Moonstone, and then it's even worse, his team.
I think honestly later in the game when Vikla and Claire have like 3-4 items, I think that's really where I'm thinking this team has a power point. Also with Diablo and the MF, you could honestly build like Executioners and Serpent's Fang, and just the AoE you provide, Grievous Wounds on everyone, shield reduction on everyone, a lot of value versus the Ivern, but right now we're really in prime time for Dplus.
River from here, but wants to go for a back first, has teleport available. See how close to an item spike he's going to be as he does go back home. Not quite at that Manamune just yet as Daisy comes out. Kellen has that wrap around, or sorry, has that wind around.
Better.
As the Nature's Grasp comes out. And no Magnustorm angle here. DK, great positioning. I think they knew where the Rel was this whole time. Playing around it beautifully. And BNK realizing that they're overstaying their welcome. Beryl still wants to fight, so he walks into 3 people, just presses the blast cone. That's going to get him out of there. Diablo moves in, and an immediate bullet time is weird. But I liked the gusto from the young man.
They're still trying to fight this.
Yeah, Lucid has the smite. Raptor can move in as well. It's a tree smite battle as the Solar Flare is going to stun him up. In goes Beryl. Once again, Vikla uses the ult to get himself out. The Herald goes over to the Ivern, and down goes the Maokai. The tree battle we can see has been won by the one with the skinnier legs. And Diablo just knew there was no way in. That is a lot of value, and DK just going to utilize Shelly immediately.
I think BNK FEARX, they try to set up, they try to find an angle, it didn't show itself, and I think you just have to make the call to back away. They hung around for too long, Jungler goes down, Herald goes down too, and now they're losing even more than they would have if they've just said, look, we can't contest this, give it up.
But it's pretty close to 50-50. So I'm very, very happy for the cadence of Cloud Soul so far today.
It's good omen for Cloud Soul fans.
Oh dear.
So
oh yeah. All right.
Now, I don't think you're going to find a way in here. It's already gone.
They do at least see that it is disintegrating.
Looks like their intent is to get control of this topside river.
Yeah. All right. Raptor throws down the Nature's Grasp, but Beryl, he had the Zenith Blade in the air. And now Raptor is split off from the rest of his team. Solar Flare needs to be flashed as Raptor gets himself out of the way. Kellen finding the Magnustorm onto 3. Vikla dives in as well, but he melts instantly. Kellen gonna follow suit as Clear is not immune even a little bit. Double kill for Aiming, and now they'll take the Otacon after taking 3 off the map from BNK.
There you go. You see BNK FEARX try and make the counter engage, but the skill shots don't connect. And if you're slightly off against this composition, you're gonna have a bad time. Lucid coming in with the Redemption, able to keep everyone healthy. And now this mid-tier 1, a very poor compensation for this Atacam.
And it was ruinous as well.
They get mid sort of prio control over the jungle. They move down. Maokai ult comes out to try to deny this wave pressure. Doesn't really do that much though.
Oh, Solar Flare going to be avoided there by Vikla, but cannot unbind his soul now for the next little while. Daisy going in, going aggressive. Kellen taking a bunch of poke damage as well. DK, I think, are just going to be able to push this one down. They've got a few minions left remaining, so Inner Turret providing even more money for this team. Wow, I don't even know that word. There's a bunch of words, like a mantle? Is a mantle apparently a wrap?
I think it's getting to the point where it's just too confusing.
I don't know. Thankfully, Beryl is engaged, so maybe we'll focus on that one. Root Call landing here from Lucid as well, and you can see they're taking no damage. Solar Flare not doing too much as Diablo not allowed to have a good time. True Shot Barrage is also going to hit Vikla, but just obliterates the Misfortune, and now the rest of BNK are just falling like a house of cards. Double kill now for Shiu as Lucid trying to look for a flash angle, doesn't quite get it as Aiming is angry. Vikla trying to escape, but remember, he has to go back and so he's just dead. Aiming, able to line up the Q nicely on that one. Kellen, yeah, his former teammates just going to take him down. And now, inhibitor turret number 1 going to fall. It's an ace for DK, as they have just, it feels like, had control for this entire game. They're taking an inhibitor in the mid lane whilst taking Baron. Certain things that we will never know, and it's the mystery that makes it, you know? That's what we like. And if we found out, then maybe the magic would be gone, as this inhibitor is also gone.
Yeah, that is a deep flank.
Yeah.
This is a surmountable flank.
Well, let's see whether Kellen can find the angle. Vikla doesn't find the ultimate, and Aiming gets right out of there, back into position to do damage. Raptor wants to defect. He's gone to the enemy base, and Diablo is alone once again.
Yeah, I'm just not convinced that Dplus actually took damage there.
Yeah, well, Clear did. He was not immune.
Yeah. Did have his exhaust. Didn't use it. Don't think it would have mattered. And now Dplus will look to put them out of their misery in this game.
They have ponchoed on over towards these Nexus turrets. They're going to dive the fountain as well, and Beryl is going to be able to do so comfortably. The tree is backing somewhere in Narnia, but the Nexus is dead, and DK start off the LCK season with a bang.
I feel like with Carrier Guma, it's like, oh, Carrier's playing the 80 carry support.
Yeah.
Like, you know, come on. But I think this makes sense. I will say, though, Aiming, your chances of getting Gold King, not looking good if you're playing Senna here.
Oh dear. Okay, we've got a slight zoom in as well. Oh, the threaded volley angle just gorgeous as Vikla one more auto, and there's the flash forward solo kill for Showmaker, and Vikla's woes continue here in game 2. Difficult. Shu is relatively low though, does have Meganar coming up. There's the hop skip. And the flash out from Clear after he uses his trinket as well.
That was nearly perfect timing though. Shiwu hitting level 6 and about to hit Meganar, but unfortunately he just couldn't find the connection. BNK FEARX have swapped to top side. They should be in time actually to deny one of these grubs at least.
Well, Lucid hasn't used his flash just yet. Sorry, Smite. Does use it in order to lock that one down. Can walk through this wall if you would like to. As Raptor doesn't have Smite either. Kellen going to be moving over though, and that should mean that Lucid does have to vacate, and he will do so. So that is just one of the grubs going over to BNK.
A skill that comes down to the matchup, but it just feels like if you're losing this much early, you're never going to have a good time.
Oh dear. Beryl is going to be discovered, as the flash forward from Kellen lands the handshake as well. Beryl is very dead. Diablo able to lock that one down in the end. And a half.
Yeah, BNK FEARX already have a dragon in pocket.
Oh dear, Shu. Oh, has that Meganar position. Look at the wall, it is gorgeous. Wallop immediately going to get cleansed though, as Diablo dancing around this one. That is the ultimate, not connecting. So Renata that goes down first. Shu had a lot of sticks in him, but Diablo not quite enough, as Vikla gets immediately stunned, then impaled. Cannot clean up the kill under Shu. Does manage to help take down Aiming, as Lucid just crashes Raptor into the wall. Shu still offering as much damage as he can, but these health bars are so low. Diablo dancing around this fight and manages to take out all of them. Laners, or the bot lane and top laner.
The people inhabiting currently the top lane.
Yes, indeed. DK, 4-man strong in the banana brush. That's a lot of control of that area, as they do manage to lock it down. BNK can now just vacate.
You got to dive in close distance on BNK FEARX, and this cluster Renata is going to make that hell.
Yeah, and I think DK also had kind of the wrong approach to the last fight, because they let Shu kind of dive on top of Diablo, and then he failed to kill. Okay, never mind. We got a bit of a fight here towards the bottom side. Yeah, so Shu dived on top of Diablo, and then when he failed to kill him, they're like, Diablo doesn't exist.
She was 2 levels down on Clear. This is really not a good spot for your top lane to be in.
Yeah, not great. Handshake there from Lucid to get him out of any sort of engage opportunity. Showmaker comes in, the impale not quite working out, as the Fate's Call is going to get this Renata out. Kellen immediately looks for the knock-up and gets it. BNK, this is not the team we saw in game 1. As another handshake, Kellen is just too good at this champion. And DK, you're the ones that were on the team with him when he was this good at Renata.
You knew he was good at Renata, you know? I feel like it was a lot of disrespect to give over the Calista and then do nothing to mitigate this Renata pick, you know, with a hammer.
Yeah, I almost got a Black Cleaver, guys.
Maybe, kind of, not really at all.
No.
it's not inspiring, and the lack of souls is really a big factor as well. You need that range in this game. You really need to be in a position where you can hit Diablo and he can't hit you back. And I fear if aiming ever walks up to Diablo's just going to hop in his face. And
Vikla taking an inhibitor turret before we've pulled the trigger. The answer's no, as Diablo smashed into the wall immediately and presented for his team. But where's the damage? They do eventually find it, but the bailout is going to be there. Showmaker gets over the wall after he's weaved his way in, and Beryl just really wants to eat. He is going to be able to find Kellen there with that one, but you can see it's clear with the damage. Vikla with the damage, and DK just don't quite have it. Another charm is going to connect onto Lucid, who then has to flash away. The wallop does nothing. And DK, I think that was the best it could have gone, and they still lost. Soul point going over to BNK.
Yeah, I think honestly, you know, I thought Diablo uses flash. The fact he hasn't, the fact his cleanses back up, and everyone has summoners apart from Kellen, who you can just cluster ult anyway.
Zadakan is going to spawn, and Beryl may be dead. Handshake comes through. They're going to focus on the turret first. Good knock up there as he dash cannons his way back. And Diablo still just dancing after the and then finds the pierce. Gorgeously played from the young 80 carry for BNK. And this guy, he really wants this to be a 3-game series. He's looking brilliant. This is what was promised from this young player when he joined, but didn't really see it from them.
Nope.
Until here in this game today.
I think it just kind of shows why Diablo was pretty praised playing in challenges. And Beryl has a 1,000 gold lead over Kellen. It feels like a misbalance.
It feels like there is a 4,000 gold gap.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to point any fingers, but it feels like someone's been...
You can point your own fingers.
Someone's been cooking the books a little bit. Someone's been... there's some missing funds allocated somewhere.
The Gold King has been robbed. Let's just say that. And there was a lot in there to be robbed, as Lucid going to get pushed back into BNK, and he's being thrown around like a ragdoll. Picks up an Ari on his way through there. Has flash, but I don't think he really has much of an opportunity to use it. And there's some bounty gold going over to DK. I think it's a check out game number 3 to see whether we can win that one instead type angle for DK, because this one's feeling done and dusted.
Very unlikely you're going to be able to contest that, and with the Ruinous buff as well, that's just a game ender. She was trying to push in the side lane.
Yeah. He is killing minions.
Oh, might go for the Grom.
Well, DK now grouped up. See whether they can find themselves a team fight.
They got a blue buff.
Hey, there we go. Another flick. That's going to bring Raptor back. This is exactly where DK needs to be, as Vikla flashes for a charm that goes wide. That was something. And now Raptor looking for a bit of an angle as a hostile takeover, as Lucid getting softened up completely. Diablo is so incredibly safe, as Beryl going down low himself. The flash counter-strike comes in, but Clear taking a lot of damage. Dawning Shadow to try and keep them all alive. And Beryl is limping around in this battle. Shiu getting softened up as well, as Honeyfruit is all they can really hope for. Showmaker realizing he's the only source of damage. The sidesteps are looking good, but Diablo gets in range, and down goes the Talia. Not a lot of opportunity, and now he's just dashing towards Shiu. The leap strike not going to quite do it, as Beryl.
He just TP...
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. It was a very weird state of affairs.
He did just TP in there, right?
I wasn't watching. But now he's
Or was he
dead.
trying to TP out?
Yeah, she was also...
I'm so confused.
Okay, yeah, he was standing on a ward. Lucid is going to try and drive away, but it does not work. Raptor able to kill him, and there is a Hextech Soul. Back to the same spot, but the rest of his team had been...
He's not even full health.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought happened, but I was like, surely not. Surely I must have... My eyes are playing tricks on me. Well, aiming nearly has 60 stacks, so...
Hey!
You know, at this rate, I think he'll take over the game once we get to, like...
An hour and a half.
Maybe 2. All right, maybe 2 hours.
Well, they just have to stay in the game for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's...
The other option is quickly lose and then use 26 minutes in order to win with a better draft. As the charm comes in, Beryl dies unceremoniously, as Diablo is just dancing around everyone. She tries to dive in, but immediately gets CC'd. That is a triple kill. Diablo's looking for more. That's the quadra. And the young prodigy from BNK standing up saying, you put some respect on my name, DK. That Kalista performance, absolutely beautiful. 26.5 minutes of BNK. They clap back. Basically, Braum learned how to drink way faster.
Yeah, very efficient.
He just slurps it.
Siphoned a bit off to the Poros, which was a whole incident. But
I think playing a bit better. Even though you can see in the farm, it is still Showmaker having a good time. Kellen's going to turn up and gank his former mid laner. No flash available because, of course, he used it earlier. And there is the Sand Soldier. There is first blood going over to Vikla.
Great moves there by Kellen, finding an opportunity to roam from base and just punish his Showmaker for his over-aggression. I think you can kind of see that the way he was permanently forcing these trades on a Vikla. A little bit disrespectful, and it's immediately punished. Now, Lucid.
But the first blood going over to Vikla is such a big deal because he has really been struggling so far in this series, and getting this Azir online could be really, really big for BNK moving forward in this game.
Going wild arrows is the only thing that makes sense for the first item.
Yeah. All right, gonna land the Void Seeker here as Beryl, body slam, tanking up the turret now, but this is a Cassante, remember? It can get a little bit awkward. He goes all out, but then the body slam's there, and Beryl says, I'm gonna take this, kill Gold King this one out. He is pinging that he will be looking to attack this turret. And so, yeah, maybe it's just Lucid says, all right, we'll go 3 for 3. Not too worried about it. And BNK, they are investing everything into making sure that this is locked down. Demolish is there, though. It's going to be a lot of damage. He's now aiming maybe a little bit too far up. Does have flash, now doesn't have flash.
Yep, good moves there by Kellen, capitalizing on the slow from the Ashe. And let's be able to keep the pressure here, get a plate as well.
Yeah.
Now Raptor looking for it. This is risky against the Gragas.
Clearing out that ward. The Gragas being there, like you say, is going to help out. One dragon apiece, though. One set of grubs apiece as well. More plates as they do fall down. One was picked up just prior to that. And so could actually be this first turret feat of strength to go over to DK. And yeah, they're going to tank this one up. Wait for the minions to come on over, and that is first turret blood going over to DK. Yeah.
I think they need to add, like, Intoxicated as a status effect.
Oh, there you go.
And reweight Gragas so you can apply it to
speaking of, maybe he is drunk. I don't know. Beryl is behind enemy lines, but he just body slams his way in. And in fact, he just bought time to make sure that this Rift Herald was claimed. He's a genius.
Well, does mean BNK FEARX are able to move over towards the dragon and have control of that area. Herald's going to come down. Not sure who's going to grab it. Beryl probably shouldn't, as he has been drinking.
Yes, certainly shouldn't. They're just going to leave it, though, see whether it can get itself a charge. That is going to buy DK some time.
One of those
to move into the river.
Autonomous cars. Oh.
Okay, Raptor diving on in there. Bomber comes down this time, gets Raptor out, but Nefiri is just dead in an instant. Shiyu able to umbrally dash over that wall and clears all out, doesn't do too much. Shiyu wants back, though. And so DK, even though they lost one and it's their jungler, they still want to try and fight for this. The volley value actually kind of massive as well as Shiyu gets himself out of there once again. Okay, BNK, they've got it. So that is going to be the first Infernal Dragon going over to BNK. Infernal Soul this game as well. We've had some powerful souls today. Grab this turret. Don't think he's going to be able to right now as Shiyu looking for an engage opportunity. Ulti comes down from Showmaker and Clear, tanking things up. Does manage to ult Beryl in order to get himself out of there. And Shiyu's zoning as best he can. A fight on two fronts here is Clear. Still the target as they do manage to take him down. Killer Instinct, a whole bunch of things invested into this fight, but an Emperor's Divide does absolutely nothing because Lucid goes untargetable. Gorgeously played since that last fight. As Lucid wanted to clear this one out, might be able to do so, but Raptor dives in. Cease and Desist is available, so he's going to be able to lock him down for so long. Lucid going untargetable, gets himself a shield as well with his Eclipse, and Vikla, he comes on over. Going to utilize his Sand Soldiers to take down the Nefiri. And a teleport in from Shiyu is odd. They're still looking for the angle as Shiyu finds a double knock-up with the Q. Diablo in so much trouble. Barrier nowhere near enough, but Beryl is dead as well. Shiyu with the World Ender, I just don't know whether it's going to be enough because there's 4 members of BNK in the area. They have to try and get themselves out. Showmaker, a fair bit of damage. The all-out actually gets Shiyu out. And look, I'm not sure about this one. DK or BNK, Showmaker get out. He is going to be able to get out of there. Burning, but not quite enough. Sole point here to BNK.
You've been Aurora ult and Aatrox ult. There's just no chance of contesting from this point forward. So BNK FEARX holds strong and managed to secure third dragon off the game. They're in a very comfortable position now.
Yeah. solo queue.
But what is the sample size?
2%.
Yeah. I think it's part of it. If you like finish a crit build, it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
But
I think you have to get to Phantom Dancer as your third item.
Yeah.
For it to feel good. But DK are now positioned around this Otacon. Vikler is taking an inner turret. But so is Shiu, I'm pretty sure.
Raptor.
Oh, he's raptoring around.
Oh, he is.
As aiming will find the Void Seeker. There's the Vi. And now, DK wondering what they're supposed to do. Beryl has the attention of the Otacon.
He's trying to flip it.
Yep, getting impatient as we can see here. The teleport to come in.
Okay, he let it reset, but...
Okay, cease and desist. Going to connect onto Showmaker. He tries to avoid a bunch of the damage, but it does not work. And Clear is going to completely miss time. His W there, Shiu, able to get himself out. But now, it is BNK's turn to start off this Otacon. And now Lucid, let's see what he can actually land here as Beryl buying time. Kellen spotting him, knows that he's the one that needs to be there to avoid the cask. Clear taking some damage. Raptor not finding the Q flash at all onto aiming. And Vikler looking for an angle. There's the Winter's Bite, and aiming. He tries to Killer Instinct his way over, but it doesn't really do too much. Diablo left to the Wolves, but the Wolves are not angry enough. The flash is awkward, and Shiu's just gonna die. It's a cavalcade of disaster for DK. It's only Lucid left alive, and there goes the Otacon. Lucid still thinking about trying to be a hero here as Clear doesn't make it over the wall. Can we get the steal? And takes it away. He will die for it, or at least get sent back home.
I don't know.
Oh,
there is a champion who could build like this. We'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, Zeri could probably do it, but it still feels awkward.
Actually, Zeri's probably the take, you know?
Yeah.
I like that, yeah.
They banned Zeri, but what they meant to do was pick it.
We're settling on a Zeri build. This is a Zeri build.
Yeah. Okay, well, we've still got some Otacon buffs. The Baron has been started for some reason, and now Showmaker finding a beautiful combo. Kellen with the door, and Beryl gets around it. Still, Diablo's the target, and he's going to be taken down, and it's a double kill for aiming. Diving forward once again, Lucid does make Vikler go golden, and is able to go untargetable as well. This doggo popping off, but Clear will be able to manage to find the kill. It's Shiu, though, that gets the last laugh, and Showmaker even able to secure that kill. So DK finally getting a good team fight.
Scrappy, but ultimately Showmaker finds a great angle with the ult, and the cleanup comes in on the enemy bot lane. The 8-1 is...
Beryl, kind of the hero, weirdly enough.
Yeah, and then Vikler tries to do what he can.
Tried to pick up the whole wave, but there are still minions that do make it over. So you're going to have to go through that base gate to try and defend, but this inhibitor turret is just dead. Just a little bit of mismanagement when it comes to the lanes. Yeah, now Vikler will be able to take this inhibitor. Like, that is just, it's just done.
He is the strongest person on the Rift right now. He is very close to his 4th item, Power Spike.
Into this fight with full health.
You know, I feel like Beryl did most of the combo, but he just kind of, there was something missing. Maybe like an ultimate ability. So maybe hesitated and like, do I want to knock this Azir into my team? Maybe not.
Yeah, perhaps not. Finds the cask now, though, as aiming gets hit by that cease and desist. Lucid dives towards Raptor as well, but you can see the Kai'Sa already eliminated. His bottom lane duo also taken down. The flash forward from Shiu, but unable to take down Diablo. In goes Lucid, though. They get rid of the Ashe, and Shiu is just staying alive. My God! His health bar just went back to full from 0.
Down, but Shiu was so bulky that 1,300 heal from an auto, 600, 345.
Look at this, he's
300, just 300.
Oh my God.
Yep, just how many autos would Diablo have to put into him to mitigate just the heals he's getting? It's absurd.
That was disgusting. Some poke is flying in. Shiu over this wall. They know that he's a raid boss. My God, his health bar is just way too large for someone with mainly damage items.
I think only Vikler can actually shred him, and even then I don't think it's quick, so I'm worried. I'm worried for BNK FEARX. They're on the precipice of something.
Well, Beryl looking for a flank angle, finds the cask onto Vikler.
Just trying to get him drunk.
Yeah, and it maybe worked because Vikler is now diving in on top of Beryl. It is going to be the Dragon secured by the Neferi, but they take down Beryl immediately. Clear gets himself out of there, dives on top of aiming, but aiming wins that one. Shiu in the fight once again, stays alive. And yeah, I think DK may have hit critical mass. Triple kill here. It's a full house. Aiming's full of Showmakers, and they should be able to just push up, take down a whole bunch of this base.
Yeah, super minions in their base, but I don't think they're too bothered about those right now. so much focus put onto this Aatrox, and it just meant the rest of the team were able to run rampant.
A 5,200 gold lead for just the Aatrox, when this game was even about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
This should just be the end of it, though, as DK, I mean, they had to work for it. This was not the series I was expecting. I kind of thought this was going to be a blowout. DK, so much stronger in the LCK Cup. At least BNK, they made them work for it. Game number 2, they slaughtered them. And this game was close until it wasn't. DK closed it out in the end, but it was grueling.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.